Good evening, Andre, and thank you for being here with us today. As an AUEB M.Sc in Statistics graduate student, we would like to ask you a few questions regarding your experience with us.
So, to kick things off, could you tell us about your overall AUEB M.Sc in Statistics experience?
Nice. So I think to be super to the point, I think if you're considering going to Greece for a year to do this master's program, it's a great idea. The courses, if which I just went through this year, are super intense and give one a lot of appreciation for the theory behind modern methods in statistics and data science. Just to tell a little bit about my background, I have an undergraduate degree from Northwestern University in computer science. And I had a job in a tech company in the States with a nice salary. 4 years ago, after I graduated, I had some friends who were Greek and decided to move to Greece to work at a shipping company as a data scientist here, and worked at that company for 4 years, learning computational methods and statistics applied to industry problems. But I was feeling like I was missing some concrete theory underlying a lot of the methodology in data science. So this program was a great way to be exposed and be exposed to, let's say, theoretical statistics. So yeah, I'll just keep it brief, and I'm happy to explain more. But I think spending a year in Greece in a top program in statistics and getting to know Greek people and a different society than what one would find in New Jersey is like an education of a lifetime. And I strongly recommend making a decision to come. And I think you'll see that, as Carlis said, you'll make friends with the other students. Greek people, at least in my experience in the American university, people are social, but Greek people are on like a different level. So you'll go out for coffees and beers and probably go on vacation in the summer to some islands with your classmates. So I think it's an easy choice to make for 1 year.
Andre, okay, James, you can talk to Andre by yourself, and he will be even more free to talk more freely than now.
Yeah.
But
yeah, sure.
I'd like to say about your experience in the conference we did in Aegina, where about 10 students from the master, they also attended to this conference. Actually, it was targeted to our M.Sc students. And did you like this experience?
Yeah, totally. So the one big advantage is that the conferences that the university puts on are typically in some beautiful place like the island of Aegina or the island of Naxos. So in this conference in Aegina, it was for the master students, we were sponsored 2 nights and free breakfast and lunch. So a few of my classmates who, after a year of studies, became friends. We all went to this conference. Unfortunately, it was kind of rainy the first few days, but we nonetheless had a lot of fun. We had good traditional Greek food, listened to music at a tavern. We learned some statistics during the day for a few hours, but it was like a summer camp and much needed after a year of really intense studying. So and on that note, I actually know a lot of organizations that take advantage of Greek's scenic treasures, let's say, for conferences. So it's not a small thing. There's a lot of stuff going on in the spring and the summer in Greece for engineers, for statisticians. So yeah, that's stuff. I think if you do choose to come for the year, I would definitely plan to stay over the summer to kind of reap the benefits of the beauty of Greece. So.
Okay, thank you, Andre. And we'll pass.
And yeah, also sorry to interrupt, but also I'll give you my information. Feel free to reach out personally or something if you want to chat more one-on-one, where it's a little bit more comfortable.
What about the course workload? Could you give us a bit more information on that?
I would just, in terms of the workload, maybe in the US system, the homework is a little bit more regular and broken down. I think it is probably possible to leave to the last month before finals the projects and stuff, which some people, not going to name names or point fingers, but it's possible, I think, to get left behind. I think, though, if you're coming from, if you're already a master's student, you're coming from the American system, which is a bit more regular, and you're serious about the studies, you'll be okay. I don't think you'll be too worried about falling behind. Just make sure to start the projects when they're assigned, not start them once they're starting to be due. And the Greek, I don't know, I didn't do the Greek undergrad, right? I did the American undergrad. So the Greek students complained a lot about the workload, but I thought the homeworks were quite, short and to the point. Like, it's a few problem sets or selected problems from the textbook. And then typically the exams are very similar problems, or those problems with a little twist. But basically, if you do the homeworks and you understand them, then you kind of know you're good to go. And also, I would just say that that for the normal students, they're doing 4 courses in the first semester, and then they're doing 3 to 5 courses in the second elective half course semesters. And the discussion was encouraging, starting from the beginning, doing your research alongside. So you can kind of see how it goes, right? You'll already be at a decreased schedule compared to the other students, right? You're going to be doing 3/4 or 1/2 of their workload at a time. So I think the probability of falling behind other students or not passing is super low. In the second semester, it's because you're doing half courses. I don't think it's a huge addition to your workload. It's 2 more 6-week courses to take, right?
Lastly, what about the caliber of education and the quality of life experienced?
How it's like how complicated it sounds with the coursework and stuff, but I wouldn't worry too much about the details. I think just to reiterate, I think coming to Greece and studying at the best statistics program in the country and living here for a year, it's like there's no comparison in terms of quality of education as a person, as a statistician, and as a person. So I would just decide to do it and then figure out the details afterwards, and just come have a good time and learn a lot about statistics and culture.
What about the cost? You have a picture of the cost in the States and also here.
Yeah, well, so I mean, I'm lucky. So my parents helped me with the cost of the education. I know that not everyone's in the same position, but the cost of the master's program here is like 15th of the master's program cost at my alma mater in the States. So, it's $4,000, right? I mean, I think you can't really get a cup of coffee at an American university.
About the living
expenses. The living expenses. So the living expenses, like I have an unreasonably cheap apartment, but I live in an apartment for 400 euros a month, which has a balcony, my own room, a private, salon, not a, how do you say it? Living room. And it's no competition, right? I mean, when I was making nice big tech money in the States, you had to live with roommates in a kind of new built chintzy building, for like $2,000 a month in some areas, like if you're in the Bay Area or New York City. Here, my neighbors are like sweet Greek people who chat with me, and my landlord makes me a Tupperware of home cooked meal once a week.
Really? I didn't know this detail.
Yeah. No, and I mean, so the cost of living is low, right? It's probably 1/4 or less of the cost of a comparable apartment in a major American city. But I think the nice thing in Greece, they have these polykatikias, which are like residential buildings where pretty much everyone has a balcony, which for a young American student is pretty nice. And the cost of like going out and stuff is relatively cheap. So if obviously that's a consideration that I didn't discuss, but in general, the cost of going out and of housing is about 1/4 of what it is in the States. Roughly speaking, everything is a little bit different. So if you can, obviously, if you can afford it, it's pretty nice.
And from the cultural point of view, how difficult it was for you to relocating yourself in Europe or in Greece in particular?
So I had my family, my parents grew up in Europe, and I was going to Western Europe a lot as a kid. And Greece is very different than Western Europe culturally, from my experience. I was also lucky because my older sister had gone to school in the UK and had made friends with some Greek people who then moved back to Greece, and they helped me navigate the system. So I'm happy to help you in that case. Like, I've been through this master's program. It's always nice to have someone kind of like just help you out with questions. Things are not so opaque in the Greek society, not, lightly said. But in terms of like getting to know people, I found my experience going to my first experience in Greece was going to a Greek office. And I found people exceptionally friendly compared to American standards, meaning Greek people like to invite you to go for a coffee. They have personal lives. They like to go out after work for a drink. And same thing with students. Like, I met students within the first month. We were going out dancing together and going for coffees after school and chatting on Discord to solve homework assignments. So in terms of making friends, things are great. Sometimes things are a bit complicated bureaucratically. So maybe if you're wondering what courses you need to fulfill or the timeline of the program or what the start date of the program is going to be specifically, it might be a bit difficult, but I'm happy to help. And the professors in the program are exceptionally diligent. I think they're more, at least in this program, their professors are more present than the professors in my undergrad university in terms of just being able to email them and have them help you navigate policy or problems you're working on. So I hope that answers the question.
That insight, yeah, that's very helpful. I mean, 4,000 compared to like tuition in the US, sounds like really awesome.
Yeah, and just to say, like, I have some friends who are academics in the UK at good schools, and they were the ones that recommended me to go to this program. They assured me that on paper, when, let's say you want to continue to do a PhD, I don't know if that's interesting to you, but the program is definitely considered a top program in top UK schools. So if you get above an 8.5 in this master's program, that's considered a top UK mark, for example, a 2-1 with honors. So that was something I as much as I like having fun and learning about ancient history and recent, and also whatever history and culture there's in Greece, the quality of the education is high. So that's obviously important, right?
Yeah, I mean,
so for the cost to quality, it's a really good deal, right?
Yeah, I've been to Greece twice because my friends are Greek, and it's just so awesome. Nice. The gyros for like $4. I ate them all day when I was there. It was summer.
You got ripped off a gyro for $4.
There is a nice place nearby.
I'm just joking.
I think Unit knows. I think we went with Unit.
Yeah. No, it's great. Like if you've already been a few times, then I think having a chance to stay here for like 9 months or a year and kind of getting to know things on a bit more extended period, like it's really nice.
What better place to learn about the Greeks than the Greece?
Yeah. And for me, I mean, I was kind of a bit of a nerd about ancient Greek culture, like, casually as a kid, but there's a lot of things that I just had no idea about in the States, just about, because Greece was, if I'm not terribly mistaken, forgive my history and geography, but Greece was under Ottoman rule. So there's a lot of influence that is a bit orthogonal to American, like, cultural history. So certain values and traditions that people still take, are part of people's everyday life that are really nice to get exposed to. I mean, it's, yeah, you should come. I mean, just come over.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. You are the best advertisement, I think.
I know. I'm probably the most enthusiastic student, but
okay.
That's very enthusiastic.
Yeah, we're very happy about that. Anyway, so James, we are at your disposal for anything. So please don't hesitate to ask whatever. Okay.
Yes, this was really all helpful. So I would definitely have a lot of interest. So I would have to apply by May at it or March.
Yes. It is in May. I mean that we're coming in May.
The admission starts late April or May, Dimitri?
It depends. I think that typically on May.
Okay, so on May.
So this year the application was due 30th of May, and I got a response within a few weeks, if I'm not mistaken. And I had a short interview with Carlis and Tufras, and the application was relatively simple. It's like you have 2 letters of reference, your CV, your statement of interest, and your diploma, and some other administrative information.
Okay.
Like 2 days to fill out. Yeah.
Thank you everyone for being here with us today. We hope we have inspired you to consider joining us on your next adventure in statistics.